Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. I'm making a salad today. And I'm going to put something in it I don't think you would have thought about putting into your salads. And the vinaigrette I'm thinking about making a black pepper vinaigrette. I have red peppers too, that'd be spicy. Well, we're having leftovers, so I want to make a salad a little exceptional. By the way, that tomato soup was fantastic. I'm sure we're going to be fighting over the last little bits of it because it's that good. But I'll show you what I'm doing. I am patting my leaves as dry as I can without bruising them. I'm getting as much water as I can off of them. I've heard people take iceberg lettuce, slam it on the counter to undo the cord and stuff. Look, you don't have to be abusive to the food you know you're going to eat. That's my opinion. I'm going to make this one for traveling. Now when you're breaking lettuce up, it's wise that you alternate it. You see what I mean? It gives more color, especially when you're packing it for lunch. And it's so easy to make because you can put fruit in it, dry fruit, this fruit. You can put vegetables in it, raw ones. You can make, you can put seeds, nuts, or mix it all together. Put pickled ones in there. Now see, I've made a base here, right? I'm gonna go ahead and put this on it. Now if you don't do this, what you'll have to do is toss it before you add everything else to it. But see, doing it this way, you sort of have colored levels. This one here, I only got one in so far, so I'm gonna have to. So you don't get all the white at one part or something, toss it around. It makes it more exciting. I'll show you. See, my mother used to throw all of this part out. That's chlorophyll. You need it. You should eat it. Put it in the salad. No, my mother would make me tear it like this, and throw this away. I used to eat it. I guess you could say her daughter was a bit on the weird side. What can I say? It's what I'm going to put in next, you're not going to believe. I made a dish that had this ingredient, but they sell it as a lot. And my thing is I didn't need that much for the dish. So I make sure my sons get that white part too. Well, here it is, right here. Now, when you go to buy mint, they sell you a nice, I've already used a lot of this, but they sell you a lot like this. What I do is I take out mint, I'm not going to waste it. Ones that are black, you just throw out. I'm going to go ahead and rinse these and we'll start taking care of the mint. What I do is I pat them dry. If you see any bad ones, just, put them in your compost. I also pick weeds from the yard, but they're not growing right now. Certain weeds that we can eat, which are very nutritious. They give a nice flavor to your salads. And what I do is I take the mint leaves, I start pinching them off. So I mix them in with my salads. I do my son's here too, because he'll want them. And they get that sweet mint taste while they're eating the salads. Periodically it comes through. And they go, oh, this is different. Sure, make it different, I experiment. Like I used, now that I know how that bread's going to be, that's a heavy loaf. That would be great to use. I want to try something else with it. Loaf of bread that I just made. Then you mix these all up with the vegetables and the fruits you put in here, and you get a nice combination. So see, some weeds you have out in the yard, if you have the books, they tell you which ones are nutritious and which ones you can eat and which one you can use as flavoring or salads. Like you can use the flowers of chives. Oh, I want to do this year when they come up. They usually die before I get my salads in the house, but this year, next year I'm ready for them. I will be using them. So if you buy mint, instead of letting it go bad, put it in your salads and make it work. And I'll show you how I make some of these crazy salads with some weeds that I know we can eat. I don't know every weed we can eat, but some weeds I do know that we can eat. Because the man calls them a weed, but they're not weeds. They're actually food in your yard, and you just don't know it. And you're mowing down free food that is right there for you. And you mix your salad greens up with these. And when they eat them, they'll get that hint of mint periodically throughout their food. I know that chefs sit there and use mint to design and things like that. See, when I come up to the top and it's such a tiny little thing, I just take the whole thing like that. So you get a bit. Now these I wouldn't use because they're black. All right. Don't worry, this isn't everything but the kitchen sink this time. I want to use black olives in them today. And let me get a paring knife because I usually do my vegetables with a paring knife. This is just a different way of cutting cucumbers. And they're chunkier. You can make a chunky salad. You can make a finely chopped salad. There are so many kinds of salads. You can make salads with meat and stuff. We'll be doing that in the spring and summer. So I'll be introducing some more dishes because of that lady I keep on thinking about all the time. She's, I'm just running out of ideas. I got lots of ideas. Don't worry. There's a lot more. I start off and I'll just keep on going and you'll get more ideas. Oh, I forgot one of my leaves. Okay. Oh, we'll throw this in too. And see, it didn't take a lot. And you can make a lot just by what you add into it. And you can make it as nutritious as you want. If you don't eat it like me as you're cooking, which I always do. And instead of using a large tomato, use little ones. Just cut them in half. I knew the mince would get to you when I said they put mint leaves in. I know my summer salads would get to you too. And you can use these as well in there. I have so many containers with things I just have to empty my refrigerator some. If I even try to go shop, I'm not going to have any room for anything. I'm still thinking about using the rib eye for Christmas dinner. Now, I wouldn't use, if I'm using fruit, I would strongly recommend do not use green olives with pimentos. I would recommend getting black olives or a milder olive that doesn't have so much flavor as to be a contradict into your mouth when you try doing this. That's why I use the canned small black ones when I'm going to put olives in my salad. Another thing that goes well in salads are carrots. I mean, you'd have to shred them so you get the hint of the carrot, and it's not like, you know, big chunks of carrots sitting around in your salad. But if you make a turkey macaroni salad, I would strongly recommend putting a carrot in it. You do need a carrot. Another thing that goes nice in it is mandarin oranges too. You're going to put bananas and mandarin orange. Another thing that goes nice in it is crystallized ginger into your salads as well. You can make any kind of vinaigrette you want to go with a salad like this. Though I'm sure some people would say, well, this goes better. Yes, but you can change and use other things as well. As I chomp my way through a carrot. So all these flavors are going to be hitting the mouth all at once, but it's interesting. You don't have to be exact. But we just used a few greens, and wait till you see how much of a salad we get by putting a little bit of this, a little bit of that, back and forth. It really works quite well. I'm missing something. Oh, scallions. Now these you don't have to chop small. My family happens to like onions, so I don't go too small because unless the recipe calls for it. But for a salad, I leave them pretty much the same size. My mother chopped everything so fine all the time. Okay, you have to come off. be right back. Okay, I am going to put some brandy peaches into my salad today. I canned them a whole year ago. Oh, they do smell good. The only thing is you have to cut them up a bit. And they are a different color because they sat in brandy. Don't worry about it. Brandy peaches also go excellent with ice cream. Like I told you, I can cook with it. Put it around all over the place. I know my sons will sit there and say, Mommy, you're serving me liquor. I'm going to work. I said, that's okay. What they don't know will kill them. And they say, okay. I remember my father used to come home for lunch. He didn't eat out. He went home and he literally ate at home. He would drive home, have lunch, and go back to work. Do you know buying lunch outside is more expensive? And it cuts into your money if you eat breakfast outside and everything else. Now this is going to be a most unusual salad with liquor and vinegar and oil and stuff, and we'll find out. To do some chopping for the vinaigrette. But here's the salads, and this one's being packed up. But look, we only used a little bit of greens, add a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and you end up with a nice big bowl. So salads are very versatile. You can sit there and make them with just a little things that you have around the house. If you have basic cooking things around the house, food and stuff, you should be able to make a salad in any direction. So let me get my other stuff together. Okay, if you're gonna start a vinaigrette, you're gonna need shallot, 1, finely minced, and you're going to need one garlic clove, finely minced, and I will be back. Okay, put this in the measuring cup. Now, I know most of you who make salads says it's a 3-to-1 ratio. Yes, it is. But I'm using a 1-cup measurer, so I want to make sure I don't get a whole 1/3 of a cup of vinegar in it, because then the ratio will be 1-to-2 and it'll be too vinegary. Now we're going to add black pepper to this. And we'll see what seasonings we can come up with it. Add your salt. By adding this, it'll cut back on that vinegar measurement, so it'll be all right. Now you're going to pour in the vinegar. And this will definitely make sure the vinegar doesn't become a 1-to-2 ratio, but will hold. And you're just going to fill it up to 1/4. Just when the liquid hits 1/4. Okay, now when you put the oil in it, it won't be so vinegary. Now, what kind of seasonings should we put in it this time? I don't know what kind of seasonings I want to put in it. You got any ideas? Tick, 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 tick. We have fish today. Basil would be a sweet one to go with it, you know? So let me go get the basil. Okay, I got the basil, but we got to put some mustard in here. Dijon, please. I have just a little left. I need a spoon. It's just a little teaspoon you're going to add to it. That just finishes this jar up with me. See, I'm going to put basil with it. So, are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. I put in about a teaspoon of basil. If it's not enough, I'll add more. But why not try basil this time? Just be different with our seasonings, you know? But the first part is correct. But once you sit there, you can use other seasonings to make your vinaigrette mixture. You can mix some seasonings, like some people like to put thyme and chive in it. I'm just using basil this way. You can mix them up, or if you just want oregano, you could do that. We're just going to let this sit a little bit. And we're going to put, I mean just a little bit, not much. Smell it. You should be able to smell the basil. If you can't smell the basil, you've got to add more. You're going to also smell the vinegar, but you want to smell that basil with it. If it's not there, you have to add more basil or whatever seasoning you're using. You don't want that vinegar to be the overpowering one. You want the basil to stand out. If you're using basil, if you're using chives and stuff, other seasonings, you want those to come out. If you're using a mixture, make sure you balance those seasonings so they come up together when you smell it. Just bypass the vinegar because you're going to smell it first. I like the way this one smells. Okay, now I'm going to fill the cup up to the 1 cup line. If it wishes to come out, and you noticed I used wine vinegar. I like using apple cider vinegar better because it's the only one that keeps the body alkaline, but this time I'm using this. But if I have my way, I'm always using the apple cider vinegar. Oh, come on, you should have melted by now. Okay, now you have a dressing. Unless you're having a big party, it should go more than once now. Right now, the only thing I smell is the olive oil. I probably need a little more salt, knowing me. And that's how you make a simple dressing. Vinaigrette, not dressing, vinaigrette. Dressings, like I told you, they're usually made with mayonnaise. They're usually made with either yogurt, buttermilk, sour cream. So when you think dressings for salads, you're going in that direction. They also usually use cheese as well in their dressing. But a vinaigrette is always going to be oil and vinegar. And the ratio, you must always remember, to every tablespoon of vinegar, it's 3 tablespoons of oil. If you get off that ratio, you're going to notice that you're going to choke. Like I tell my sons, you have to mix this up before you put it on your salads. When they don't, they're choking at the table, and I just look at them. I told you so. Okay, anyway, listen, you take care. Have a great day. Bye-bye.